so guilty.
What's good, guys? It's your girl Fats. Hope you guys are well. Today we have a special guest. You might have recognized her from her amazing show, The Bridegroom UK. I'm joined by Aisha. Hey.
Hey, how you doing? Hi, Fats.
Hi. Happy New Year. How's your New Year been so far?
So far so good. How many days in are we now? We are 6 days in? Yeah.
Been great.
Yeah, it's been all right. It's been good. Can't complain. I'm grateful to have gone into the new year well and healthy. So yeah.
But first off, before we get into everything, I have to say this. I've been dying to say this, but I am a regular watcher of The Bridegroom UK. Like, I binge watch your episodes.
No, you don't.
No, when I tell you, like, I've never been obsessed with weddings until I watched The Bridegroom UK. I think it's educational. I think it's insightful. I think it's unique. It's different. I don't think it's actually ever been done before. Like, we've had, like, Don't Tell the Bride, My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding, but nothing like this. What made you, like, want to start The Bridegroom UK?
A combination of a few things. So just like yourself, before I got married, I have always loved wedding stuff. So like for me, obviously I had a boyfriend who obviously now is my husband, but like at the time, like I was already mentally planning that wedding. And I think I was just so like in love and infatuated with like all the beautiful things I would see on like Instagram and Bella Niger. So, that one was so bad. My obsession with Bella Niger was so bad.
Yeah.
And then I finally, got engaged and I started planning my wedding. And I was like, okay, the reality is not matching what I thought it would be like, especially like you just mentioned, Don't Tell the Bride. So I thought, I'd go into the wedding shop and we'd have champagne and, everyone would cry when they see me wear my dress. Girl, it was the most ghetto. It was fun to plan a wedding, don't get me wrong, but it was quite ghetto at the same time. Trying to find the right vendors. So, but then when I spoke to other people that were like getting married, at the time, there wasn't many people my age like getting married. But just speaking to other people, I realized, wait, hold on, this is a norm across the board. And some things I just felt like it wasn't right. So I was like, you know what? Went to a few wedding shows. I actually went on another wedding podcast, but that's more for like vendors, called The Vendors Table.
Yeah. That's how I actually found out about you.
Yeah. So then I said our wedding budget at the time, and everybody lost their shit. Everyone was like, what? Like, I'd rather buy a house with that money and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, baby, if you don't even know how much weddings cost, then you're going to be in for a ride. So I thought it made more sense to actually like tell my story, but not just my story, but other people's story through the podcast. And it blew up. I didn't expect it. I did not expect it. I just thought, it's a nice little hobby, try educate people, but it blew up. And I'm like, oh, okay, you guys are really feeling my stuff. So yeah, I'm honored. Thank you.
No, honestly, when I tell you, like, I already had like a small budget, but then after watching your show, I was like, I need to. I already have a wedding ideas album. I'm single. Okay. I already have a list. I've already like budgeted costs.
I love that.
But I didn't realize how expensive wedding was. And on top of that, the reason why I also love watching your shows is the type of guests that you have. And when they talk about their journey, their jobs, what they do, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even like, this is no disrespect to MUAs or anything like that, but when you have MUAs on your show, I didn't really understand the importance of these MUAs and why do they spend so much money on their products and vendors and things. I had no idea. But after watching your show, I was like, this is amazing. Like, I can literally watch this every week.
Girl, thank you. I am honored. I am really honored. And you know what, just to add to that as well, I think like when it comes to like wedding stuff, I feel like men have the advantage in the sense where like they know when they're going to propose to their woman when they feel like they are ready, right? Yeah. But women, we kind of live in like la la land. It's just like, oh, I just want to be a wife and I just want to have kids and, or just whatever kind of life you want with your man, yeah? But we never think about the financial side. So it's kind of also given those that even if you, like yourself, for example, you said that you're single, that's great. Like you are currently in a position where now you can actually think financially, one day I want to get married, but there's going to be this amount that needs to go towards it. Whereas like back in the day, people would like, you just get slapped in the face with cost, and you're like, what the hell is this? Like, where am I going to find this money? So
Yeah.
no, I'm really, really glad that like, yeah, like you're just taking it in. And like, I've had so many DMs of people just saying like, Aisha, I love the pod. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like guys, but I'm happy. I'm happy. It's doing what I wanted it to do. So I can't complain, to be honest.
Speaking of the journey of starting your podcast, The Bride's Room UK, I'm not gonna lie, sis, like some of your episodes went viral last year. Like
Every week.
you was trending. Did
Every
you
week.
expect the podcast to get that success quite quick? Did you expect the show to like go viral?
No. I mean, obviously I had my few like videos where like my wedding went viral itself anyway, but like I feel like most weddings kind of in this day and age go viral anyway. People just like weddings.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. The internet just seems to like the content. So there's nothing no. To answer your question, no, I didn't expect it. I just thought it's going to be a little hobby. I'll do it maybe like in the next 5 years, it might blow up. That's what I genuinely thought when I started this. So when it was like blown week 1, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. It's new. Week 2, week 3, like, oh, okay. Like people just like the content, and like I'd have people come up to me at like weddings and like they'll be like, oh my God, bride's room, like, girl, listen, like I got a boyfriend, he better propose, like we're planning our wedding. I'm like, oh my God. So it's fun. It is fun. I didn't expect it to blow up so quickly. I'll be really, really honest with you. But it's a challenge and I love it. So yeah, I can't complain.
Obviously, like I don't know what was your life before that, but I'm guessing you was just living a normal life, and then when you expected that those episodes going trending and you was being noticed, was you feeling overwhelmed? And obviously it sparked up a lot of conversation online, like people some people were mad, like people were sensitive, like did you think what have I got myself into? Or did you think, you know what, some people are just bugging, like people need to calm down?
You know what, so it's to answer the different parts of your question. So I feel like I'm still very normal. Like I just feel like I'm just a black girl in the community, very like average. And I think that's probably why people probably relate with me, because I'm just a random girl. I've never really been about internet drama, and I'm still not. But in my personal life, I am like, I don't mind a bit of confrontation. Like I love a good, healthy, like let's lay it on the table and let's talk about it, and let me see how your brain works. Let's see, you can see how my brain works, and let's try and meet in the middle. That's how I operate in life. So I feel like because there's always been this tension between vendors and couples, I think it's been going on for years anyway. It's like, let's actually just talk about this out in the open. And even people that haven't even had, what does everyone think about this? Who's actually mad? So I personally, if I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy the conversation.
It's funny.
I feel like we need to talk about it. I really do. And I'm glad that like there's a lot more conversations, there's a lot more like you said, it's educational, right? So people now know, okay, I can't, like if I want to spend 10K on my wedding, that's great, but don't be expecting Mayfair. Do you know what I mean? And maybe you can, I don't know how you're going to pull it off. Maybe you can, but don't be expecting like the stars from the skies and stuff. And like vendors now know, okay, this is how couples feel and blah, blah, blah. There's still so much to talk about, but I love it. I'm here for it personally. Sorry.
What has been like, have you had any challenges when it comes to like doing the podcast or starting the podcast? Like were you feeling like, oh, I don't know if I'm sure about starting this? Like
so what would I say was the toughest part? I think it's just the fear, because like I obviously like I said, like my wedding went viral. So I think for me, like that it very much a personal problem, but like I just had like a lot of negative thoughts leading. I had the idea because basically, let me tell you how I actually got to making the podcast. So I had a baby, like I got pregnant literally straight after the wedding. So I got pregnant and then I was on maternity leave this year, but maternity leave was just a lot. Like, so I just thought, you know what, I can't just be in the house, like just here. Obviously I have a baby, I'm grateful, but like I want to still feel like myself. So I was like, okay, you know what, let me talk about because I always get people DMing me. So like, you know what, let me just start a podcast, didn't it? So I did that, and but the hardest part to actually executing was like actually believing in myself. And I was just thinking, oh my God, people are going to think she's gassed or she's I don't know. Like, I didn't want to be one of those people because you get some people, like, back in the day, people would like get married and then they'd start like a YouTube channel, like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah, like a couple's
couple.
channel. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't want to come across like that, but I just felt like there's a lot of things we need to talk about, guys. So I think it was just overcoming the negative thoughts in my mind. But once I was able to do that, and I will say I've got like amazing friends and family. So like everyone, once I told everyone, they were like, yeah, okay, cool. What day? Like, let's go to the studio. You got your stuff. Like everyone was like pushing me to do it. And I think just having that support actually allowed me to like overcome the fear, and like I can talk for England. So once I started talking, I realized, oh, okay, this is easy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think when I put out my first episode with Hindsight Bride, I put that out, and then I didn't actually look at the episode for weeks because I was like, oh my God, it's not going to get any views. Yeah, like I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to look at how many views like anyone like. But my first episode got like 800 views, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, people actually like this. Okay, cool. Let me try a little bit harder, do a little bit more promo. And it was working. Then stuff started going viral. And I was like, okay, great. So yeah, overcame the fear. And here I am now, just doing it.
Speaking of support system, I believe like your husband is also like behind the scenes as well. So
Yeah,
that's amazing.
he is.
Oh,
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So he's like, I don't, yeah, he's my husband, Joe, I guess, to some degree. But yeah, everyone always talks about that as well. They're like, oh yeah, we love like when he interrupts in the background and like adds his 2 pence and stuff. Cause like we talk about certain things and I'm like, you cannot go out in public and say this. Like but people seem to like his opposing views sometimes. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, yeah. But yeah, he's been really supportive on the podcast, and I'm just really grateful to have him. So yeah.
that's amazing. So obviously, of course, you love weddings, and I'm sure a lot of people love weddings. Weddings are a blessing.
Yeah.
But I believe there was like a tweet that somebody put out last year that it went kind of viral. It got the people talking that smaller weddings are gonna become a thing eventually, and big weddings are dying down. What do you make of that statement?
Oh, so I didn't actually see that tweet, which is quite interesting. But in my opinion, I don't think big weddings will die down. I genuinely I think it's very expensive, don't get me wrong, but there are ways around that. Like even in this economy, we still found a way to have a big wedding. Did you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
We still found a way to have a big wedding. So I think it just depends on the size of your family. Like if you're someone like me that comes from a big, massive Nigerian family, yeah, you're not having a small wedding. I mean, if you could avoid it, that's great. But like there'll be a part of your wedding that will still possibly be quite big. So I think it just depends on the kind of family you come from, what kind of network you come from. But I do think it will be a much more attractive option moving forward. But people also think that because a wedding is small, it means it's cheaper. And that's not necessarily true as well. Yeah. A small wedding can still be 100K. Yeah. It all depends on the taste and the budget of the couple. Like, especially if you have like a bride that loves like things like fresh flowers. Have you checked how much fresh flowers are?
Oh,
Baby. So you could have your 50 people wedding, but if you've got like this whole like aisle of like fresh flowers and like chandeliers and like pick like the most like, I don't know, Lake Como, for example, it can still be a crazy amount. So it just depends on where and how it's done. But yeah, I think people will consider it, but I don't think the big weddings will die down, in my opinion, though.
You know what? Speaking of that, obviously you had a destination wedding, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're in the new year. I'm sure a lot of people are planning their weddings. Some are planning their destination weddings.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for the people that want to do a destination wedding, but they ain't got the budget like that? Like the budget.
If you haven't got the budget, then you haven't got the budget. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's not advice. You literally with weddings, you need money. You actually just need money to do it. But I would say elope. I saw a couple that they chose to elope. So I guess if you haven't got the budget for a destination, because usually destination weddings are the smaller wedding option usually. So you have like a more intimate guest list when you do that. But I guess if you don't have the budget for that, then I think the next best thing might be to elope. So I saw a couple did like this really cool thing where they eloped, but then they did like a cruise around like some islands. I don't know if it was like Greek islands or like the Caribbean islands, but I thought that was really, really nice. And like they came back and they felt really rejuvenated, and they were able to still like put money towards like their future and stuff when they came back. That could be an option.
You know what's so funny? Because going back to smaller weddings and like, you know, smaller weddings can also be expensive. It's funny that you say that, because Adrian from The Real, she actually spoke about her experience having a destination wedding, and she actually had a small wedding, a destination wedding. I believe she had about 70 people, and child, the pictures, that wedding looked expensive, and it was small.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. That small does not mean cheap. Small can still be more than some people's 2,000, 3,000 people wedding. It really just depends on the kind of things you spend your money on. So yeah, I believe that. I believe that, especially with these celebrities, they've definitely got like the bigger budgets. So they'll opt for like the fancy stuff. They're probably gonna like fly in on a helicopter and like, I don't know, have fire breathers and, you know, wear the most expensive jewelry. So of course, yeah, I believe it.
What do you think should be like something that people should have in mind when it comes to like cost, like things like you're like, okay, like something that they need to be mindful? Because I remember I was watching a video and it was a wedding and a cake was coming from the ceiling, like a massive, no, it was like a stairs cake coming from the ceiling.
You see me, I love extra stuff. From my experience, like one thing about me when I was planning my wedding, I tailored my wedding to myself and what I personally like. So I think sometimes, especially now where like weddings are such like, you see everywhere on TikTok, like, oh, watch me pack my bridesmaids box and watch me get my wedding dress. And it's so easy to like internalize everything else that everyone else is doing and thinking that you have to do it that way as well. So like, just do what you want. Prioritize whatever you think is special to you. So like there was an episode that I had with Honey. I don't know if you saw that episode, where she was saying that she had an ice cream truck at her wedding because she liked ice cream. Do you get it? So like, if those are the things that matter to you, that's where I would put the money the most. I wouldn't necessarily like get a hanging cake because, oh, I saw that on Instagram and that's the new in thing. Some things, yeah, they are a bit trendy and it's nice to have it at a wedding, but like make sure you are making yourself happy in the process with the things that you're getting. You're not just getting it for show or for other people, you know? So that's what I would say. Yeah. Yeah. And make sure that people eat the cake as well, because half the time you spend all the money on the cake and it goes to waste. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So I gotta ask you, what are your wedding icks? As much as you love weddings, what are your wedding icks?
Ooh. Do I have wedding icks? It's been a while now. I actually made a video on this on TikTok. I forgot the whole list, to be honest. I was just ranting one day on TikTok. I make some random videos on TikTok. Anyway, what are my wedding icks? I think my wedding icks are, there's not necessarily a wedding ick, but I think a big ick for me is when people give their 2 pence on how to plan a wedding, but they haven't planned a wedding themselves. Not to be rude, but there's so many obstacles and there's so much people management that goes into it, like behind the scenes. You don't actually really understand why a couple makes a decision they make until like you're fully in it and you're like, oh. So I think it's just like, if you haven't planned a wedding, you should be more of a listener and learner rather than you should do it this way, you should do it this way, you should spend that amount. It's like, well, it doesn't work that way. Another ick is a couple have spent all that money, but they don't utilize their time effectively.
Oh yes,
that's a big ick for me. Where it's like you've wasted like the first like 5 hours of like the day doing God knows what, and then like the last few hours you want to like rush all the like the activities. I think that's a wedding ick for me, because I just feel like it's a big waste of money if you don't utilize your time properly. A big ick is turning up uninvited to a white wedding. I don't mind trying because I do that, but if I know the couple, but yeah, especially if it's a
Yeah,
destination.
that
I've
annoys
seen people get crash destination weddings, and I'm like, whoa, like how? Yeah, not necessarily not gate crash is a bit dramatic, but like show up like uninvited.
uninvited.
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
I don't know, but I've seen it.
Oh my god, the audacity!
Some people just love a good motive, you know, even if it's international. So yeah.
And people still show up and eat and do everything.
I don't know, but I've heard. Allegedly, this is happening.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, don't come back and quote me.
Do you have any other icks, or that's about it?
Ooh. I'm trying not to get myself in trouble. This is the thing. I don't really like talking on the internet because I feel like I have no more icks.
Of course, the Bride's Room UK is doing amazing. Like literally, it's like blowing up.
Yeah.
But what's next for the Bride's Room UK? It's a brand new year. I believe that you've got a live show coming up.
Yes. I haven't really like promoted it hard yet, but like I'm working on it and I'm hoping it's next month.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. I'm gonna try. Let's see how that's received as well, but it should be really, really cool. I'm just trying to like find like the perfect venue. So I'm just currently I'm about to like hopefully lock that in this week, and then yeah, there should be a live show. So hopefully the bride's room will not only just be like something you see virtually, but will actually become like a physical support group as well, where like other brides can like meet each other and like network if they want to. You know, it's not by force to make new friends, but it is kind of cool to like see other people and like actually maybe ask extended questions, because you know the episodes are only like 1 hour, like 45 minutes an hour most times. So maybe asking some of the girls questions that they didn't actually answer in the episodes as well. So yeah, live show hopefully, and then God knows, maybe we can go international. You never know.
Yes, we love to see that.
Yeah.
Do you see the Brides of UK going mainstream?
You know what? Yes. So it has the potential to, but because it's blown faster than I can even keep up with at the moment, I don't know how I'm going to do it. But yeah, it could definitely go mainstream. I have so many ideas like that I haven't even unlocked yet. And I think it will really like blow people away. But I am just trying to like just take each step, like each day as it comes, and just make sure that everything that I put out is just high quality first, rather than just shooting out quantity, because I don't want to compromise on quality at the moment. So yeah, once I just find my team and like just, you know, get everything together, hopefully, you never know, we could go mainstream. Who knows what 2024 holds, facts. I don't know.
I think it should. Like honestly, like I definitely want to see it mainstream. Obviously, like you got to take your time and stuff, but I think the show is amazing. It's something that's not done before. That's why I asked you that, because I would love to see it on TV one day.
Oh, thank you. I don't mind. Someone tell someone from ITV, Channel 4, hit me up. BBC, I'm here. You know, like I am here. So yeah, I don't.
What's been like your best guest so far from starting? Like, what's been your highlight?
Oh, you know what? It's hard to say because every guest has brought something unique and different, and I've been very deliberate in doing that. Like I've tried not to like duplicate the same thing. So I've had like people talk a lot about their personal family experiences. People talk about positive experiences, because it's not always negative. But obviously, you know, we love the gist, we love the gossip. So that's what does the best.
Yeah.
Most of the time. We've had all sorts. I've had my own friends come and talk about their own personal experiences. I've had my vendors, in the case of the Emmy Edith, come and tell me what I was like as a bride as well. So it's hard to say because they're not the same perspective, if that makes sense. But like, yeah, I think the one most recently was the Emmy one that got a lot of people talking on Twitter, and everyone was like, never going to see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, these are business people, business women, and men in some cases, and you have to respect their hustle at the end of the day. But it got a lot of people talking, and everyone was like not seeing eye to eye on the whole costing when it came to bridal makeup. Yeah,
it was an interesting conversation. Like I
love it.
didn't see the bigger picture until I watched your episode. I was like, oh wow, like
Yeah, did you know how much wedding makeup cost before that episode, or not really?
I had like an estimate, but I didn't think it was that much.
Oh, maybe it's a lot. It's a lot. So it is so hard. It's a very big pill to swallow, and you'll find a lot of brides, like we are the cash cows, unfortunately, when it comes to
Yeah.
when it comes to like the whole wedding industry. We are the bride. So everyone from like venues to dressmakers to MUAs to hair, everyone is going to try and make as much money as they possibly can off of us because we are the bride, and we're not going to compromise on our beauty and our standards. So it's a tough position, to be honest, you know? And you always have the option of doing your makeup yourself, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. There's YouTube tutorials, so you can learn.
I personally didn't do it, but it's there.
Some people do. Some people actually will take that option.
I've seen some people, you know what? I feel like I could have done my wedding makeup myself as well, but I feel like you just want that experience as a bride. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? Because obviously, like, I watched you on the vendor table as well. Like, I love watching the vendor tables. I didn't understand the importance of videographers and photographers.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we'll just like put that on the bottom of the list. After watching them, I was like, yeah, we'll put that
on the top. You have to. But then again, it's what you prioritize. So some people, they might not care about like memories and pictures and quality and that kind of thing because it might not be set. But from the sounds of it, that better be the top of the list if there's something that you care about. So yeah, it's very important. Oh my God, 100%.
Definitely. So I want to thank you so much, Aisha, for coming to my platform. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, out of your weekend.
No worries. No worries. Oh my God, Fats, thank you so much for having me. I am really, really grateful. Like, I'm honored that you reached out to me. I'm like, little old me is getting interviewed. And keep doing what you're doing as well. I love to see as well another woman in, you know, the whole like interviewing space. Like, it's amazing as well to see you shining. So yeah, you keep doing you. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. So where can the people find you? Where can the people find your regular episodes on the Bridesroom UK? Where can the people find the Bridesroom UK?
Okay, so there's so many different platforms. So let's start with Instagram. My Instagram is the Bridesroom UK. Yeah, that's it. The Bridesroom UK on Instagram. And then on TikTok as well, I am Aisha, but if you just search the Bridesroom, you should hopefully be able to find me. And then, yeah, on Twitter, I'm just Aisha as well. So I'll put like, are we going to put it here or do I have to say it out?
I'll put it on the bio.
Yeah, so yeah. On Twitter as well, my handle is Aisha, so AISHAAAXOX. And you can find me, regular old me, just being a regular degular, talking about wedding stuff. But yeah, no, thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you so much for supporting me as well. I'm really, really grateful. Really, really appreciate it, and I really hope that you all have amazing weddings now that like we're having these great conversations.
Yes, amazing. And I cannot wait to watch the next episode because
so much
I can't wait for the next episode. I know. Yes, because you've been bringing the firefight guests. So
I know. Thank you.
I'm here for the content, and we're just excited for what's in store for you, onwards and upwards from here. And have a lovely evening.
You too, my darling. I'll speak to you soon. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye.